Gimbals. Yes, gimbals. They're very useful, that they are. In fact, the phone I'm using to record this video on is on a gimbal. It's the Kion Smooth Q. Well, I got myself a replacement, yeah. I got myself a Hohem Isteady Mark 6, and it's the kit with the AI sensor thing, the magnetic sensor that goes on the top. I'm quite excited about it. Well, this video is an unboxing and my first impressions. Bit of a comparison, I suppose, to the Kion Smooth Q, which I've had, well, for at least a couple of years now, and it's been okay. It's nothing fancy, no. It doesn't have all the, bells and whistles as this gimbal has. So anyway, no further ado, let's open the box. Oh, okay, well, I'll bring it down here. There I am. There we go. Down to the box from my hands. Yes, my dirty old hands, because I've been doing dirty old work. I'm woodworker, you see. And I happen to be in my workshop. And this workshop is where I make my other videos for my woodworking channel, Wally Bra. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you like woodworking channels. And I'll give more hints and tips and tricks on there. Yeah, that's what we do. So let's just release the gimbal from the packaging. Yeah. Plastic packaging, as in it's a bag. Yes, a polythene bag. And no, we're not editing this video. No. So what you see is what you get. And yes, it is a pretty sharp axe. Well, a carpenter's axe, that is. Yeah, thin-bladed carpenter's axe. So anyway, I'm breaking my way into the box, as you do. You've got to break your way in, you see. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Alright, here we go. Let's take off its sleeve, put that on. And what do we get inside there? So let's bring it up a little bit. Yeah, that's a bit of a hint, even though I've told you what it is already. So, there's one thing about this gimbal. That's a bit odd. Why would you have a cleaning cloth outside the box? Oh, it must be a freebie. It's an extra, maybe. Okay, and it's also it's been shrink wrapped into plastic as well. They do like plastic these days, don't they? Unfortunately. Let's bring it down a bit lower. There you go. So, that it says here, it says on the front here, it says the Hohem Isteady Mark 6 kit. Now, why did I buy this gimbal? Why did I feel a need to replace my other one? It's because the gimbal which we're using at the moment to record this video, I have made little counterbalance weights and all that sort of stuff to steady the gimbal. Because the payload on the Kion Smooth Q is only around 200 grams. Oh, my phone weighs 260 grams. So the gimbal, well, it was a bit hard for it. So it kept going floppy and limp and flaccid. Whereas this one, yeah, it's 400 grams. So it's way in. I don't even really need to worry about counterbalancing it. Hopefully I might balance without my help. Whereas Kion Smooth Q would not. It's not. To be honest, I don't understand why it felt it was a good idea to make a gimbal that won't hold a modern phone. And the phone I'm using at the moment is the OnePlus 7 Pro. It's quite a heavy phone, or heavy-ish phone. Well, this gimbal should manage quite well. And I'm going to get into this one. This is like shrink wrapped, it is. Oh my giddy aunt. So I'll have to make a few little incisions. That's what we're going to do with the. I suppose it would have been that easy if I just grabbed my grabbed me a knife. That might have made more sense. Anyway, we're in now. We don't need to worry about it now. Okay. Besides, if I use a really sharp knife on me, I'll end up damaging the box. Oh, I don't want to damage the lovely box. Oh, it's so important, the box. Okay, we've got a box. Yeah. Oh, okay. Looking interesting, isn't it? And it is. Okay, obviously I'll go that way up. Yeah, so that's the gimbal. So this is the kit. So this particular one comes with that AI sensor, which happens to go on the top. And it's magnetic, but it's also got a light in it. Not any old light, it's an RGB light. Yeah, you can make yourself look all red and gammon-like. Yeah, that's what you can do. Yeah, so there you go. That is the, the unplasticated box of the gimbal. So what we're going to do is we're going to delve into the box and have a look at what is inside it. Yeah, hopefully there's a gimbal in there. I am hopeful actually that there is, because it feels like there is. Is that a drawer, or is that just a lid on the end here? I think it might be just a lid. That is. I'm going to pull that out there. Oh, it's like that. Oh, there's something else in there. That there is. I don't know if I need this axe now, do I? No. Not unless I want to chop off a chicken head or something. I'm not going to do that. No. We've got our chickens anyway. We used to. Right. Looks like it's been shrink wrapped. Which way up? Oh, it goes that way up. Okay. So that is the top of the case as a case, which has a handle, which is actually quite a nice case. But because I'll be using it on a daily basis, I don't think it'll be going in the case very often. Oh, there. Okay, that's sort of plasticized, but the lettering is rubberized. Yeah, lovely. They do put a lot of effort in display, don't they? I have to admit. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, what we got? Oh, it looks nice. It looks professional. Unlike the one I'm using at the moment. No. So I'll bring it down a bit closer. There we go. There we go. Here we are. As you can tell, I'm using a gimbal at the moment, but not this one, because this is my new gimbal. It's the Hohem Isteady Mark 6, and it does look rather, well, nice. Oh, and yeah, not too heavy. I know it's about 560 grams in weight, so just over half a kilo in weight. Not too bad. Now, the gimbal I'm using at the moment, the Kion Smooth Q, I actually replaced the battery in that recently, and I think that the A18 1850 batteries, and I had to put 2 of those in the gimbal that we're using at the moment because the batteries went dead. So I'm hoping that this will have some kind of battery access as well. I don't see where. Oh, there's a little break I see joined there. So maybe. We don't know how good the batteries are, how long they will last in this this particular gimbal. The Kion Smooth Q, they failed on me. They did, but they still work, but they're very short, about 30 minutes, and then it'll give up the ghost. But anyway, I put all the batteries in, and I'm getting like flipping out, what, 2 days if I want to. Yeah, it's more capacity than I had before. Okay, so the feel of it, I like. You've got this balancing here, so you can balance that across here like so. Yeah, so you can balance it. So that obviously has to be turned around that way, maybe? Not that way? Or is it that way? Okay, it goes that way. Oh, I see. That'll sort itself out once you turn it on. With the phone in it, obviously. I ain't got a phone put in it, so it's just first impressions anyway. And what about turning from portrait mode? Oh, hang on, you do that in the actual app itself. Like I say, I'm going to have a bit of practice with this. I'm going to find my way around it. You've got this, you do all your modes on this little trigger here, like, you know, with the Kion Smooth Q. If I want to go around 180 degrees, I'd press that 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and that'll centre itself. Now, one thing I do know about this one, if for instance you forget where you are because you haven't, you know, if you click it just twice, it will reset itself to a neutral position, and then you can go 1, 2, 3, just, you know, in case you accidentally done 4 clicks or something. So yeah, it's quite good like that. It feels good in the hand, actually. It feels better, much better than the Kion. And oh my god, the joystick is so much nicer. Be interesting to see how well that performs, because the joystick on the Kion Smooth Q is clunky. It's a bit awful. This feels so much nicer. So, and also you've got the display here, which I believe is a OLED display. You've got telephoto wide angle on there, which obviously probably has to be used via the app. Yes, there's an app to download, but many of the functions, such as the AI, because the sensor, which is also this little light as well, it can work independently from the app, any apps regarding the artificial intelligence, which for me, I will be using, because I mean, if say for instance I want to use this in the workshop and I'm working around the bench, it could follow me and track me working around different places around the bench. I think this is going to be a game changer for me, I really do. And that attaches on the top here with these little magnets. Quite nicely, in fact. That feels so good. It's a sprung-loaded holder for the actual phone itself, which is the same as the Kion Smooth Q. It does feel a bit, don't feel that smooth, if I'm to be honest with you. It feels a bit like it's sticking a bit. Yeah, I don't never like that. I think I'm going to put some PTFE in that to make it a bit smoother. I can see that getting worse at the time. It doesn't feel very, yeah. I don't like that. I'm not keen on that. Now, this one, the same as the Kion Smooth Q. One thing I really hate about these, most of these gimbals, unlike the DJI one, for instance, which basically holds the phone from the back only via its own kind of quick release system. I think it's magnetic actually. Is this on the end here? Now your phone is going to be laying in this direction here with its connection on the USB-C on the end. You might want to attach an external microphone like I'm using at the moment on here. I'm using the Rode Micro microphone, so I think that's a problem. But I have managed to order a new microphone which is actually Bluetooth by Lewinner. I'm hoping that's going to do a good job, because then I wouldn't need to have the adapter on the end of the phone, for which I'm using at the moment, which I had to use a right angle adapter so it didn't kind of interfere on the end here. Otherwise your phone, because all the stuff, if you put it and plug things in the end of your phone, you're shifting it all over, and then the centre of gravity is going to be off. Now that's why I had to add counterbalance weights to this gimbal. Now although this gimbal here is strong enough to hold 400 grams, which is considerably more weight than my phone is, I don't want to give it extra work. So the more work you give the gimbal to do, let's say for instance constantly having to battle the weight, well, you're going to run the battery down much faster, so your life of your battery is going to be much shorter. And I just noticed something that I think is a brilliant idea, which isn't on the Kion Smooth Coup, are the core screw threads. Got one there for the accessories, you see. See, there's one there. Any more on there? We've got one on the end here as well. So these could be places where you could attach your microphone, all that sort of stuff. That to me, that's so useful. It really is useful. Little things like that, little touches like that, will make people's lives a lot easier. So you've got that one there, you've got that one there, and you'll have one on the bottom as well, so you can attach a tripod, for which it actually comes with a tripod, a little mini tripod. Okay, what's this film? Ooh, okay. For one of those little plastic tripods, I think that is actually quite a nice example. That is solid. Yeah, that's pretty good. Although I'll probably be using the one that I've got on this gimbal here, actually, to be fair. And this one's by Fantaseal. Funny old name, isn't it? It's an aluminium tripod. And I use it because it's got a nice thin handle, nice thin legs and what have you. All aluminium construction, nice and strong. I actually have it so I can mount it on a stand, for which I've made this because I make things basically. It's basically a tube with a screw in the bottom, quarter screw in the bottom, and this just slides in the tube. So I can, if I'm doing a video, I can have this in a fixed position somewhere, but I can easily take it out without any warm-up screws or quick releases and stuff like that. Although I must admit, this handle feels nicer, but it's too short. You know, that tripod, yeah, a little extension there is too short. See, what's that, about 4.5 inches, about 100 and... say that's no more than 120 odd mil, that isn't there. And whereas the other one I'm using at the moment gives me an 8 inches, which is a 200 mil. So it's much longer. So if you're doing selfie and what have you, and you've got a phone camera, the selfie camera's a little bit on they had to put it a little bit on the not telephoto, but not as wide as you'd like it to be. You've got to stretch your arm right out, which is a bit of a nightmare. So there's lots of things here that's quite interesting. You've got your little shuttle here on the side here, which it's also a button as well. You've got your trigger here for your modes, whatever else you want to assign it to, I imagine. You've got a mode button here as well. You've got your display, a USB-C there, and that is your and that's your power button on the side there. For which I've just turned it on. One press to turn it on. No, one press actually to not turn it on, but it's showing the state of the battery. And I think I'm going to put this on charge before I actually do anything with it, because the battery isn't fully charged at the moment. It's one digit down. So it's a really clear OLED display there. Now if I try and use this gimbal at the moment, I'll just go grey loopy because there's nothing in it. I don't want to turn it on at the moment. And besides, that's not what this video is about. So what I'm going to do is start making some videos using this gimbal to give myself a fair idea of what I actually think of it. Do I prefer it than the other one? Do I find it's a bit of an overkill? The looks of it I think are fantastic. I think it's really solid. It looks professional. It does. Now, I bought it on Amazon, and I'm actually on a full payment thing on Amazon because I'm a bit brassic at the moment, and and I paid €206 for it. So I think it's about 180 odd pounds at the moment on exchange rate. But I think, we've got another. You've got that tripod screw there as well. So I think it's not a bad buy. But I got on Amazon, full payment is €206. I think that, it was about 5% off at that, 5 or 6% off. Anyway, there's another little box here, which I didn't see. So what's inside the box? Oh, it's just cables, the usual sort of cables, I imagine. We have a little flexi one, which I would have thought. See this? Now this is now. If that's the case, okay, it's not do that, is it? No. Looks like we take this power off there. Okay, now this just feels a bit silly now. Right, now all phones have the USB-C, and they're going to end up pushing it against here. Normally in the middle of the phone, which that's in the middle of the phone, and now they're suggesting we plug this in at the same time, which is going to push the phone right over. That's not very neat. It's the same problem with this gimbal here on the Car and Smooth Crew, and others. I think that's silly, personally. I really do think that's silly. They need to find a different solution to this. Other gimbals have managed to find a solution where they don't have anything over top of your USB-C. And besides, if you're like me and you don't want to use the onboard microphones of your phone because they're rubbish, and want to use decent microphones, well then that's a problem. Most USB-C cables come straight out. This one, okay, it's an angled one, but it's still going to be pushing it away from the actual throwing the balance right off again. That's silly. I'm sorry, I think that's really, really silly. So I imagine that's to take power off the actual, because you can share the power on here to help to charge your phone, you see. Because big batteries on here, and then you've got a charge cable, which is slightly thicker on there. So anyway, that's the Hohem Isteady M6, and I'm going to do some videos with it. I'm going to have a play about with it on all my channels. At the moment, we're on new tech at the moment, but we're in my workshop where I make my videos and what have you, but also make stuff for customers. And that's called Wally Barn. Links to that is in the description down below. But anyway, while you're here, please boot the old like button because it helps the channel, you know. Yeah, what happens to that one there? I'm getting confused now. Oh, let's go that way. Oh, I see. How do you get back in? Not that way. Is it that way? Oh, that way. There you go. That's in. So it does go back into the case, okay. And then obviously you've got your cables here. And if you're that pedantic, you can keep them in your little cardboard box. Oh, ain't that lovely? And they are branded cables. So, yeah. It looks very good. And I hope it'll be quite impressive. You do get a manual, which are probably in several languages. What language do we got? Oh my god. Oh, it's an actual manual. Okay. It tells you stuff. That's quite handy, because most manuals don't tell you much at all. It tells you about the modes and stuff like that. And obviously guarantees. Let's go back in. Let's find the English first. Is it English first? Yes, it is. So, you've got your product list. Getting to know your Isteady M6. Battery and charging. And use the supplied cable. You can use any cable really, because just do it for charge. So, anything I will say is get yourself a decent battery charger. Don't use battery chargers that are like incorporated into wall sockets and stuff like that. You've hard enough from those things, because they won't have any kind of iSmart charging or anything like that. And you'll end up, Qualcomm charging even, and you'll just end up cooking your battery if you're not careful. No, you keep away from those sort of things. Yeah, okay, just shows how to mount your gestures. Oh yeah, because you've got your gestures as well, so you can start the AI tracking, and how to use the gimbal. So you do get full instructions. That's unusual these days. Quite often you've got to download the things and have it on an app on your phone, which isn't very helpful because your phone is likely to be in the gimbal. Anyway, so that is my new acquisition, which happens to be the Hohem Isteady Mark 6 gimbal. And I'm quite impressed so far, but the proof will be in the pudding, and that'll be in another video. Anyway, thank you for watching, and please boot the old like button. Helps the channel, you know. Ta-ta.